All right. All right, cool. So, anyways, welcome everybody. I'm super excited to give you guys this information, and welcome to day one of the Business Loan Broker Challenge. And the information you're going to learn this week, it could literally change your life. You really implement and take action with with this information, right? So, I'm very happy that you guys are here in this room because you're learning from somebody that's actually qualified with this information. I'm not saying that nobody else is qualified. What I'm saying is that I have actually worked in the industry. I'm still currently working in the industry, and I used to work for the banks as well. So you're getting access to somebody that really understands the industry and whatnot. So we're happy to have you here, that you're in the right room. So you're getting the right information. So for those of you that don't know me, again, some people just literally joined overnight without attending the webinar. My name is Ariel Morel. I'm originally born and raised in the Dominican Republic. Came here when I was 15 to this country, started businesses with my father and whatnot, and then now I'm here. I'm the founder of multiple seven-figure companies. My main company, my baby, is Ready to File. So Ready to File your LLC. You go to readytofile.com. You guys see why I did the name. And I'm also the owner of the Wealth Gateway LLC, which is a coaching company that has been established for 4+ years, where we help other people. We do consulting. We just help people, grow their business, get into we show them how to become business loan brokers, and a couple other things that we have done with that company. And I'm a former bank vice president for multiple banks in the United States. I used to work for Wells Fargo, PNC Bank, Santander, all in the lending capacity. And not just working at the branch, I used to be a vice president. And at one point, I used to manage half of Pennsylvania, half South Jersey for a smaller financial institution where I was managing other business banking relationship managers. And I had approval authority to do my own loans and whatnot. So I had a lot of fun in that job. Fantastic, one of the best banking jobs you could have, very flexible. And I was just selling money. So I didn't really have to sell. I was just like, hey, like, you want a loan? Not right now. Well, when you need a loan, I'm here. And then eventually the here will always happen. And I have traveled to over 30 countries. I'm actually planning to go back home to the Dominican Republic within the next 7 days because of my birthday. And then I'm probably going to go to Italy as well for 2 weeks. And then that's one of the few hobbies that I have. I love to work. I don't even consider stuff work, right? Because I love what I do. I'm able to help entrepreneurs grow their business by getting access to capital. So if I'm working on a Sunday, I'm not really working. It's just kind of like, it literally just became my hobby. And just so I can keep growing this company. And then whenever I want to take a break, I take a break. That's a beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur. And here's my baby. So again, because some people are like, oh, what is your funding company? Here it is, readytofile.com. We have some clients from Ready to File in the house. So shout out to you guys. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are here today. And I have been featured on Telemundo 62, CBS, and NBC. So because I love to teach, I did a live webinar, a seminar, showing people how to purchase a home completely for free. We had over 400 people in the house. Somebody from Telemundo was there and said like, hey, you should come and do a live interview, because I did that one in Spanish. And the next thing you know, became a regular financial literacy segment in Philadelphia for CBS and NBC, the local level. And then I'm the father of a newborn daughter, first little person. Her name is Leila, and then this thing has changed my life. She's not a thing, but like basically becoming a father has literally changed my life. And then I wanted to show you, and that's who I am, right? I'm a family man, business owner, and then I'm Dominican. That's basically who I am. So, anyways, here's the agenda for the week. Today, we're gonna give you the mindset, and we're gonna break down exactly how the business works. You have the ins and outs of exactly how the brokering world works. Tomorrow, we're gonna do a deep dive on multiple funding strategies that actually work. If we were to do a full day, we could literally do a full day of just breaking down every single funding strategy, but that will be a disservice to you. So what I'm doing tomorrow is I'm gonna give you the 2 strategies that are working the best right now. For the other ones, we're gonna give you a resource, and you have Lombot to process those. But the 2 that I'm gonna be breaking down tomorrow are the ones that you're gonna be able to monetize sooner rather than later. So again, like, this stuff really works. People are making thousands of dollars every month by funding this type of deals. And I'm going to break this down for you guys in a way that you'll be able to fund your client within the next couple of weeks, the right way. Like, I know I had somebody earlier that mentioned that they just kind of started dabbling into business funding. So now you're going to get the real answers of how things really work behind the scenes. Now some marketing technique where we show you, hey, here's a 50K approval. And for that funding company, that might be like one approval out of like 50 other people that maybe they got them like $5,000, $2,000, or something like that, $1,000 to one bank. And that's all they know how to do. But we're going to break that down, that industry, and show you the proper way to get people anywhere between $80,000 to $150,000. On day 3, we're going to show you how to build the lead machine. So you have Long Hero CRM. We're going to show you how to get a completely free version. So you don't have to spend $1 a month, that way, which is crazy. It's a great price, by the way. And we're going to give you a free option. You don't want to get that technical. You don't want to get into the CRM. And then we're also going to break down how to properly manage the CRM. So you can learn the biggest secret, one of the biggest secrets in this industry, which is it's all about the follow-up. It's all about the follow-up. In this industry, money is made by following up with the lead. And we're human. So it's hard to follow up with somebody. Remember that you spoke to somebody 12 months ago, and then you're trying to get them to be going and reactivating that client. We let automations do the work for us. So whenever they're ready to get back to us, and we don't do manual stuff. So anyways, we're going to break that down. So super excited about day 3. Day 4, we're going to give you the magnetic marketing techniques that are working today. My business partner, Damien, is going to give you a masterclass on how to run ads the way that we run it. He's going to show our campaigns. He's going to show exactly how we run the campaigns and whatnot. You guys learn how to set it up. Again, you might learn it right away, but if not, you're going to have the replay so you can just copy, paste, and put on your own. And also other organic marketing techniques that work, that are currently working, that not cold calling, not knocking on doors, is just presenting yourself in a way, being in the right room so you can get the right clients and reaching out to the right people. The same way, the same strategies that we're currently doing or that we have done that we know work. And then day 5 is the best day because that's what we put into it, right? We bring the lenders, we show exactly some of our relationships. You guys can partner up with them, and then also so you can keep all the money. And that's day 5. So you're excited. Let me see some ones in the chat. I know it's a lot of information, but we're excited for you guys as well to be here. We have an action-packed week ahead of us. And then my whole purpose is to try to over-deliver as much as possible. Awesome. So, yeah, this is just a 5-day training where you're going to have to set up a 6-figure business loan brokering business. And so you stay until the end. We have some stuff that I didn't even mention before. I'm going to give every single person here access to a completely free for you, DIY, do-it-yourself, credit repair software. We're going to give you a strategy that works on how to convert leads, get them to pay you, and also how to monetize 80 to 90% of your leads if you're not in credit repair by getting access to this $8,000 software that we're not charging you $8,000 just for being here. So just an extra bonus. All you have to do is just attend all 5 days, all the way by the end of the week. And then on Friday, we're going to give you access to that and show you how to use it. And then completely free. It doesn't cost you anything, so you don't have to pay somebody $8,000 to set this up for you. And I have paid a lot of money in the past for this type of systems. And I'm going to give this to you completely for free. So you're excited about this? Let me see some ones in the chat. All right, cool. I know I'm excited to meet you guys and stuff. So anyways, again, you get access to LoanBot, which I already showed you guys how to use. And then there's the Dollar CRM, which we highly recommend. You get access to it, at least by day 3. That's when everything's going to make sense. So here's what I need from you. Take notes, right? Really focus on information. You know, when people take notes, that's when they really are able to capitalize on the information, because we have people sometimes they join, they don't really pay attention, and then like the week passes by, like, oh, this was cool, but like I still don't know anything. So at least like every single day, I'm really giving you guys actionable information that works. So please pay attention, and then implement the information. This is a challenge. This is meant to challenge you to actually, by the end of the week, you should have a functioning loan brokering business, right? Enough to get started and start making some money. But if you don't do the homework that will give you every day and the work and the resources, then the whole week is gonna pass by and you're not gonna be fully set up. So again, please do the homework every day. Implement the information on the go so you can actually start funding clients, right? All I'm doing is just providing the education, but the execution is on you. So please execute. So that way we can see some results and get some nice messages like, hey, Ariel, I funded my first client, 30 days later, like that's what we want from you, right? And then reach out, use the community, right? Use the community because yes, you're still gonna have some questions after every day. It's hard to really put together, 10 years of experience over 5 days, but I do my best to give you the most essential stuff. But then just leverage the community, right? Leverage the community. If you have questions, just like post them here, check the resources, check the crash course. I try to provide as much information as possible, not to overwhelm you, but to make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful here. And if we don't have it, you post it, then I'll do my best to try to provide that. So there you go. Just make sure you actually leverage the community because we're here for you, but you have to use it. And then save your questions every day for the BLB Q&A. I don't answer questions from 12 to 1 because if not, I'll be here for like 3-4 hours. We've done that in the past. I'm not doing that. I'm going to have almost a sharp stop close to 1 o'clock because I still have to run my business. Right after this. So I'm taking a quick break to give you guys this information, but then I still have to run my business right after. So that's what we have the Q&A for. Save your questions for tomorrow at 11:30, same time every day for the community. So I like to start these challenges by doing a commitment statement. So I was don't mute yourself, but then I always like to go towards this. So like please kind of repeat this with me because I didn't used to believe in this whole like affirmation stuff in the past, but once I started practicing this stuff, it's just like the rewiring of the brain where you kind of like telling stuff like, hey, like this stuff's gonna happen for me. If you add that plus the work, then things just really work. So this week, I want you guys to commit to taking action, taking control of my financial freedom. I'm fully committed to going through the process of this challenge so I can become my own boss. I will not let anything stop me from creating another stream of income, not even fear. I have no option but to make it work, and I'm giving myself no other option but to make it work. Multiple streams of income are in my future, and I'm claiming it now. You're claiming it. Let me see. I claim it on the chat, and let's just get started. Right, let's get started. So first, our second part of this equation is like I have one question for you. Right? So Venice is claiming it. That's great. Betty, Amicia, cool. You guys are glad. Well, I claim it too. You know what? I claim it too. So, in order to be prolific, we need to be specific. How? Most entrepreneurs they run with their like a chicken with their head cut off. Why? Because they don't have a GPS towards their finances of where they want to go because they don't even take a quick stop to see what it is that they need to do to be able to make the money that they need to make. So let me ask you guys, what is your freedom number? Right? What is the freedom number? Like, what is the number that will help you quit your job? What is the number that will help you increase the bottom line of your business that will put you in a more secure position so you could be who you truly are? Right? And how can you be when you don't have to, when you're doing the things that you're passionate about, you're making the money that you need to make, so you're able to make the decisions that you really want to make, not the ones that you're obligated to make. All right? And I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast. I do my best to try to calm down, but I just get too excited, so I apologize. So anyways, let's do this quick exercise. And I see some people posting on the chat already. Divide your freedom number by year, right? What is the number that you want to make every year, right? So maybe $200,000, $300,000, whatever that number is. And then you can keep this to yourself or post it in the chat. And I want you guys to divide it by month, right? Then divide it by week, then per day. And the reason why you want to do this exercise as an entrepreneur is because if a day passes in my company and we're not heading towards our goals, our self goals, we have to see what's going on. Is it a lead issue? Is it an employee issue that maybe they're not closing what they're supposed to be closing? I said a funding issue. Maybe we're not funding enough, right? So by knowing and managing the numbers, I'm able to quickly pivot and make decisions as to how we can get closer to achieving our goal. Right? And that way you keep yourself accountable as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, even if you're the only employee of your company, to head towards that destination, whatever that number is. And if you easily achieve that number, then raise it up a little, right? Again, in order to be prolific, we need to be specific, and we can only be prolific if we know our numbers. And in this business, it's all about the numbers, right? So $500,000 definitely doable. $5 million a year is doable with a lot of structure. $250,000 definitely doable. $41,000 definitely doable. $20,000 per month. $100K. $1 million. Also, these are great numbers. All of them are possible. $13,000, great number. Again, all this stuff is possible in this industry. Now, you told me a crazy number that I haven't achieved, then I'll be like, look, you know what? Potentially, but maybe I might not be the right coach for that because I haven't achieved that, and I will not speak on something that I have not achieved. So, anyways, who's the challenge for? This challenge is for entrepreneurs, people that want the freedom of mobility, aspiring entrepreneurs, people that feel uneasy with the current situation, entrepreneurs, people that have a great job, but maybe they don't feel comfortable with a job because of the lack of security that at any moment things could change, and 9-to-5 millionaires. The 9-to-5 millionaires are the people, look, you don't have to quit your job to do this business. And I never tell people, hey, quit your job and do this, like, all in. No. You only quit your job after you have the security where you side hustle. That is, you're making enough and you have enough savings for you to be able to take that leap of faith. You can take the leap of faith with a parachute, right? There's a lot of people online that will tell you, hey, just take a leap of faith. You lose your parachute and then you get into bad financial problems and then you go back to corporate America. It's a right way of doing things. So I just kind of wanted to say that, right? So anyways, and then people that think outside of the box. How? Because in this business, you have to do that, right? We have to get creative with a lot of situations. So, and to give you all the tools you need to have a 6-figure recession-proof lending business, I'm giving you the system. All you guys have to do is just implement it. I'm giving you guys the products and strategies, implement the right marketing strategies. So you, again, just literally take action and you're successful. So, it sounds a little repetitive to some people, but why is this industry rapidly growing? Why is it working so well? Right? Because again, we have a lot of people in the room that haven't seen me before. So almost 32 million small business owners in the United States, and most of them don't have access to the right capital that they need. And it's not because they have bad credit. It's because they keep going to the same 5 to 6 banks. And there are over 17,000 financial institutions, 17,000, 17000 in the United States that are looking for clients to get them funded. But then you have the top 5, like actually around 32 financial institutions that have basically almost a monopoly on the marketing online. That you might just see Chase promoting the stuff, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and a couple of the banks that spend so much money on marketing that you think they're the only banks. Yet the other banks, they're dying to get clients. They're not as strict as the bigger banks because, again, they get so many people that they get the chance to say, no, we only want the best of the best. That's what we got. We're going to get them the client. So your average entrepreneur does not have the time to go over and figure out what is the best bank for them outside of the ones that they don't even know about. So what if there was somebody that had access to that information that could put the entrepreneur in the best position, A, through their relationships with the lenders, and B, through the knowledge of the funding game, right, to put that person in the best position possible to get them funded, right? And guess what? That's what you are. You're a glorified middleman that you properly match entrepreneurs with the right bank. And by doing that, you're able to monetize that. You charge a fee, right? You provide a professional service, and the entrepreneur is willing to pay that fee because on their own, they don't have the time. And yes, this works even. I have clients that are making, over $10 million, $20 million a year. They don't mind paying because they don't have the time to handle all this stuff, right? They hire a professional to help them get access to the capital, to answer all the tough questions, to manage the funding process for them, right? Even people that have the money, like they gladly pay, right? Because they have the money to pay, and the people that don't, because they don't have the knowledge, also willing to pay, right? So again, that's why this is rapidly growing, and there's not a lot of us. There's not a lot of business loan brokers. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like, who here already knew a loan broker before this? Or maybe even heard about the industry until you saw the ad. Maybe not a lot of people, but I can tell you right now, you go to a networking event and you say you're a business loan broker, they're gonna like, wait, what? Like what? Like, is that a unicorn? What do you guys do? And then people want to talk to you because there's not a lot of us, and then it's especially not a lot of people that are doing it the right way. So, and let me know you have actually met a business loan broker in the past. But what is the biggest secret of this? All right, because again, today's all about the mindset and giving you the right structure. If you want to be successful in any business, you need to learn principles that work and learn them fast. All right. So, Eric, what do you mean by that? What is a principle? What are you talking about? So, principle in business is just something that works and it works very well. All right. Whenever you see, let's say, just take a look at McDonald's. They have the same products in every single McDonald's in the United States. It's almost the same process. It's like you're going to the same restaurant, just like kind of like copy paste. And they have a system and it works very well. So you just kind of replicate it in every single institution. So for example, I'll give you an example of a principle that worked for me and changed my life. So that changed one of my business. For example, the learning online marketing. I didn't figure out all this stuff out. Like I saw from the outside looking in, and eventually, I found a coach. I paid them money so they could show me exactly what was working. It was something that I didn't feel as comfortable because I'm an introvert as doing it. And you guys have seen me doing the webinars and all that stuff. But the way that they showed me how to do it, it worked to the point that it got you guys here, and I'm able to sell anything online, right? To get people to take immediate action to purchase whatever it is that I'm selling. Whether I'm selling LLCs, whether I'm selling insurance, I don't sell insurance, but like whatever it is, it's the same principle that is just copy paste, just a different product. All right. So you guys are here this week to learn the right principles of how to be successful in the business loan broker industry. Why? Because it has worked for me, and it has worked for a lot of other people that I have given the same principles, and they're making $50,000 to $80,000 a month and whatnot. So whenever you have you know that there's a principle out there, try to do your best to obtain that principle and then implement it as soon as possible. Right? Do everything in your power to acquire these principles and the frameworks. You can make all the money you need, but you can achieve that freedom zone. Right? Because again, business is simple. Once you learn a principle that works, just keep implementing that principle to monetize, and then you can increase your income. Principles equal framework. Right? So next, this part is it's probably gonna be one of the best things. Is why is mindset so important in this business? Right? Actually, in all business, those who believe that can or can't are both right. The most successful entrepreneurs that I know generally believe in this model. Why? Because business is never changing. Regulations, customer behavior, industry changes, and this applies to almost every single business out there, right? No business is forever. So your ability to pivot by believing in yourself, knowing that you are the person who you truly believe you say you are to yourself, is that you know things are gonna work out for you. Right? But you can just say you actually have to take action for whatever it is that you have going on. But let's say in this industry, right, we get 200 files, and we might get a lot of people that decline. When we talk, we're already counting the money of a couple $100,000 of qualified files. If we are failure, if we're not able to achieve whatever it is we're trying to achieve, or let's say tomorrow there was another regulation that changed the industry overnight. Not saying that's going to happen, but just hypothetically. And then, am I able to achieve and go to do a different activity to generate income? I'm going to be able to do that, right? Especially when you're getting started, because I believe that I can make anything happen. So if you get anything from this right here, whenever you're having a rough day, especially when you're venturing into something new, and things are not going your way, just believe that eventually it's going to happen for you. Because if you keep going as an entrepreneur and you keep trying things until you finally are able to achieve your real number, then that's how you become successful. But if you quit, like most people do, then this stuff is not going to work out for you. So again, if you keep going and you keep trying different things because you you really believe that this is going to work out for you, you're going to be successful. But you have to believe that you can, right? You have to believe that you can. All right. So like I heard the person I heard this from before, like explain way better. But every time I'm having a rough day, I'm on my level when maybe, we have had employees that take clients or whatever, or maybe, that we a large deal that we're supposed to get at $200,000, and then something happens at the end and it doesn't pull through. That's a huge hurt piece on the business. And am I human? Do I feel like, hey, this stuff is not working for me? Do I feel like, damn, like I wanna be already making over $10 million a year, like one of my competitors is doing. I wanna be over $20 million a year already, and I'm not achieving those numbers. Do I feel like a little down? Of course, but I know that eventually I will. Right? So that's the thing. So you can apply that all the way from the beginning. When you haven't made your first dollar loan brokering or in business whatsoever, just know that it's going to work out for you, but you have to believe in yourself, right? Those who believe that can or can't are both right. So I kind of went on a tandem there, but this is literally how I manage my entrepreneur career for the last 15 plus years. That's after losses, a whole bunch of losses and lessons. I know that I'm always going to be good, no matter what happens, right? So, but before we go into mindset, actually, that was the mindset. Let's take a look. This is the most important question when it comes to money. And by the way, you guys received that message? Did it make sense? Did it help you at all in your journey that you are right now? They just have to believe in yourself. Let me know in the chat. Because that's the difference, again, like between the people that are super successful, they just kept going. It's just that they are so far removed from their failures and that they have been winning for such a long time, they forgot about it. Not a lot of people talk about their failures. To the point that you might take a look at very successful entrepreneurs, and you don't know the 7 to 12 other businesses that are on the business graveyard that didn't work out. Very few people start a business and they start making the money right away, right? So again, just know that. Like the same way you see me, I have started a whole bunch of businesses that didn't work out, where I lost money. So again, but like we don't actively talk about them. I started a home automation company. And it's fantastic. We had this connection with the Phillies in Philadelphia, the baseball players, and some Eagles players as well. The first 3 months, we made close to $200,000. I'm like, like we're going all in with this. This is fantastic. It's growing rapid. It's way too easy. COVID hit. And then, overnight, so a lot of products, we had to return most of that money. Right? But thankfully, I had this business. That was just something else that I was trying, but then boom, that stuff didn't work out. And did I feel depressed? Did I feel like upset? But it's just business. I have to keep it moving. But again, there's a lot of business in the graveyard that people don't talk about. So let's talk about the value equation because we need to understand what we are, we need to be prolific in order to be specific. So these are the 4 different levels of value. And then I'm going to let you know exactly where the business loan brokers fall. Number 1 is the muscle. This is somebody that these are the people doing the thing, like, right, doing the customer service, like kind of the front lines of business. At this point, you're changing your time for money. So your income is limited to the amount of time you have to provide. And then the hourly is not going to be that much because you're doing a service that's kind of limited, right? So at this point, you're making $5,000 to $45,000 because your level of value is just connected to doing one activity. Right. So once you start providing more value, maybe you're moving to management, right? Now you're making $45,000 to $150,000. You're managing the muscle, right? And because you're managing multiple activities, you're able to monetize more. You're providing more value by making sure the company is being ran smoothly. Then when you're the communicator, somebody that you have a service that you're providing, right? This is where most entrepreneurs usually fall. You are the communicator of your idea. You make it turn it into a reality. And once it's successful, you're making $100 to $10 million, right? So most of the business loan brokers, they fall here, right? This is the type of level of value that you're going to be producing, right? Because you communicate, you're a middleman. Never know how to think. So you're a middleman. Please don't write, don't know how to take in these fingers. Try to see. Never know how to remember that thing. Anyways, so most people are here. And then what's the highest level of value? The dreamer. This is the person that comes up with a new concept. They're able to monetize it before everybody else. And then the potential is unlimited. So knowing that we're here at this level, where you're able to communicate, basically you're selling something, you're providing a service. So when I come next, where are the clients that you're going to be getting? Right, according to the cash flow plan. Have you read this book before? By Robert Kiyosaki, great book. Where are you currently at right now? Right. So if you're an employee, you have a job, you're changing your time for money. If you're self-employed, you basically own a job, right? You want to make more money, you charge more, but you have what's called human business. Most people that are on this part of the cash flow quadrant, you don't have employees and whatnot, and then if you get sick, then the money might stop depending on what you do. But here's what I want everybody to eventually get to, which is when you become a business owner and you have a system that works with or without you. It takes some time to get there, but this is when you truly have a business. You don't own a job, then you hire investors. This is when you have your money working for you. Okay, so now let's talk about the law of the large numbers, and this part is super important. It's probably gonna be the best thing I'm gonna teach you today. In this business, this is what success comes down to. Right, this is what success comes down to. This is the difference between the people that make and the people that don't. Right. And again, in this business, it just comes down to number. All right, so let me break this down. Let's say you talk to 10 business owners and no one does business with you, right? For some reason, again, just hypothetical number. But it maybe, it could be that maybe your conversation wasn't right. Maybe you didn't present yourself the proper way. Maybe you were talking to people that were employees that were not entrepreneurs, right? So now, nobody was doing business with you. So in your mind, damn, like I tried this 10 times, it didn't work out. So what you selling actually sucks? Or maybe was it really just bad luck? No. Nobody interested in your product, or did we talk to no business owner, right? So I can tell you the latter. So you talk to 10 people and nobody was able to say yes, then what about we talk to 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 until you get somebody funded, right? So does that mean that the program doesn't work or that the business doesn't work? No, what you're getting to know is how many times do I have to have a conversation to get somebody to get funded. And that's what you have to figure out quickly after day 4 when you decide what's gonna be your go-to marketing strategy, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I have people that start this business, they go to a restaurant, order a burger, whatever it is they're selling at a restaurant. They ask like, "Hey, can I talk to the business owner?" No. Who are you? Oh, okay. Ariel, this still doesn't work. Or then I have people like, "Hey, I went to a networking event. I didn't get a client. How many people do you talk to on that networking event?" "Oh, maybe 3 to 5. And what do you say?" "I just introduce myself." "Do you follow the script?" "No." "Okay, all right." In their mind, this business doesn't work, but they didn't talk to enough people. All right. But now let's say you talk to 100 business owners and we get 12 people that say yes. Right. And this is just hypothetical numbers, but if it comes down to ads, it's probably going to be very accurate. But let's say you talk to 100 business owners, you get to know 100 business owners. Usually takes less than this, but this is random number. And we get 12 people that say yes. And out of those, the 12 people, let's say 3 actually get funded and they're qualified. Right. So you're probably thinking like, damn, I talked to 100 people. Only 12 people like actually took action with me we started the funding process for them right now. Doesn't mean that the other people you talked to won't get back to you later. Knowing that the average commission is around $5,000 in the business, and with those few people, let's say you make just on average 15 grand. Do you feel like this was not a success? Or you had a failure by not telling to enough people, getting enough people funded? Or maybe like, wow, it takes talking to 100 people to make $15,000. And I actually want people to answer this. So, right, most people give up after 2 to 3 no. Right, literally, that's 90% of entrepreneurs. They go in, they get a 2 to 3 no's, and that's it. But the most successful entrepreneurs, they realize that, wow, I talked to 100 people, I made $15,000. How many more conversations am I going to have? And actually, let me know in the chat if this was you. Like, am I going to have 200, 300? Right, because now you have that concept of the numbers. So how many more conversations am I going to have to be able to achieve that number? I'm going to be talking to 1,000 people if I can, right? So, like, this is the question for you. Are you willing to put in the work of having enough conversations with leads? And I'm going to show you exactly where to go to have conversations. So this part is easy, right? But how many conversations are you willing to have to be able to try to monetize this business, right? And what you're doing by this is trying to identify how much input you need to put in to get something out, right? Like how many networking events do I have to go to? That's one example. How much money do I have to spend on ads if you're going down that route to get to a funding event, right? How many conversations is my team? Exactly. Monica said as many as it takes, right? How many restaurants are you gonna go to introduce yourself and grab a business card until you get somebody funded, right? That's where the success really comes down to. Your average business loan broker, they're not doing enough. How many posts do I have to do online to get people to come towards me? Or how long am I going to keep posting until I build a brand online that now I'm a customer magnet, right? That I'm talking to my ideal client and they're always on my DMs asking me to get them funded, right? It's not going to take one post or just a 1 week worth of posting. That's most people online career when it comes to digital marketing. They post for 7 days straight and they say, this doesn't work for me, right? Betty said he does 100 calls a day, right? But then they have that science down to the T that maybe out of those 100 calls, they expect at least like 2 to 5 solid leads, right? When we used to run the dialer and then we were buying leads, my reps would get 8,000 leads a week, right? And then out of those 8,000 leads, we might get 40 to 60 appointments. Out of those 40 to 60 appointments, eventually some of those clients will convert into funding clients. We're talking about like maybe 5 to 8, right? And then those 5 to 8, some of them might be just like $3,000 to $5,000, and we might have one that we make $20,000 from, right? So is what I'm doing. I'm buying more leads, trying to increase the inputs that could get more output, right? So that's what you have to do. So if it takes 100 quality conversations to make $15,000, are we really stopping there? Hopefully you said no. We're going to do everything in our power to acquire this conversation. By the way, once we have all the right systems and the scripts and all that stuff, how do you earn the conversation? You have to do more input, more output. The more conversations you have, the more discovery calls you have with your clients, the more you're going to get out of it. You just go to 2 to 5 people and then you get a no, and that's pretty much it. All right. Entrepreneurship is 80% mindset and 20% execution. 80% mindset. Right? Most of the business happens whether you believe that you can make stuff work and some direction. So, I'm part of the 20% of the execution. And here's the truth. People rather maintain a state of physical complacency and mental laziness instead of trying something new. Your brain fights you every time you try something new that it has to work. For example, every time you drive to a place you have never driven before, it's gonna feel like the longest drive. But eventually, as you keep repeating that drive every day, and you can think, let me know if this is true or not. Like those 45 minutes that it felt like 45 minutes, 45 long minutes, now it feels like 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Next thing you know, like your brain's kind of on autopilot. But at the beginning, you're super aware because your brain has to work. The same thing when you decide to go to the gym. At the beginning, like, oh man, like I don't want to go. Your body knows that it needs to work. And then you're fighting yourself until you train your brain to know that you have to keep doing that activity. Does that make sense? So that's basically what I have for mindset. Next, let's talk about some banking stuff. What's that mindset stuff needed? You guys needed to hear what I just talked about, like the reality of how the business works, and how many conversations and how many activities you need to do to make sure you're successful. Because that's basically it. Like you have to have as many conversations as possible to be successful. That's what this business comes down to. I tell the same thing to my funding reps. And we have to have enough conversations. I keep talking to leads until we're able to convert them. We can monetize them. All right. So now let's get a little bit into insider banking stuff. So this business is all about beating the algorithm and finding customers to fit them in the right credit box. What do I mean by this? Every bank has their own algorithm when you apply online, or if it's a manual process, they have something called the underwriting process. When they're underwriting something, all they're doing is just basically trying to figure out what is the likelihood that this person is going to pay us. So, for example, what I usually tell business loan brokers is the client that's applying to get funded, will you lend to that person? What's your money? And can you generally say yes? And you can say yes based on the information that you've seen in the business and the financials, and you should fight for that client. But if the answer is no, you can still try, but just know that, like, okay, like if they get declined, don't be surprised because you wouldn't be willing to lend your money to them, right? So banks have an algorithm for this or an underwriting process, and all they're doing is just to try to figure out, look, we want to lend money. If we could lend $100 million tomorrow, we will do it, but we don't want to lose money. So is this person going to pay us, yes or no? Right? Can they feed our credit box? The credit box is basically the criteria that they have for a client for a specific product to decide if that person is lendable or not. And that's just to get you in the door. So this is how the lenders think. Every single bank has an underwriting process based on the 5 C's of credit. I don't care what bank you go to. They all have, as an underwriter, what are the 5 C's of credit for the specific product? They should be able to tell you. But this is what it comes down to, right? Now we're learning how to speak bank right now, right? That's what we're doing. Take a screenshot of this if you want. So again, banks care about 5 C's. Number 1, character. What is this person's reputation, right? How can we analyze the personal or the business reputation? They're going to take a look at the credit history, right? Based on the algorithm. What is the minimum credit score needed to be approved for a specific product, right? And then later, especially with bigger loans, what is the background of that person, right? What is the background of that person? Like, do they have any experience in that business to make sure it's not successful? Or how long have they been doing this business, right? If they have been doing it for a couple of years, okay, like what's the likelihood they're going to be open the 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year, right? So that banks want to identify the character of the person applying in the business. They do this by credit score from the personal side and the business side, right? That's for character. So if you're talking to a business banker or a bank, you need to find out what are the 5 C's of credit for a specific product. And you do that by asking, what's the minimum credit score that I need so my client can get approved for the specific product, right? Number 2, capacity, right? Does the client have the ability to repay back that loan? If you have a client asking for $10 million, well, their business is $50,000. You think they're going to lend to them? You would lend to them, right? So does this client has the capacity to afford the new debt, right? And you can find out, like, literally, if it's a really good business banker, you can ask them, what is the global debt service coverage ratio? Or this is for larger loans, not for funny strategies I'm going to show you. But what is the DSCR for this specific loan? The minimum ratio, right? But again, like, what Lombard knows how to do that. I'm not going to break that down because we'll spend like 45 minutes just talking about that. But again, it has to make sense. So you have to be able to fit the monthly payment of the new debt, right? If it's unsecured, like a credit card or a business line of credit, they're going to look at 1.5% of the total balance is going to be the minimum monthly payment. For everything else, they should let you know what the expected payment is going to be. Then you should be able to fit the new monthly payment within the net profit of the business, right? Number 3, capital. What is the skin in the game that the customer is doing? What can the customer provide so they could make sure that this loan is going to be paid back, right? So, for example, banks know that if you have skin in the game with a specific project, let's say you purchase a commercial building, and then things just stop going south for you, and let's say you put 20% down on a $10 million building, that's $2 million. You are going to be more likely to try to save that building because you put $2 million of your money, then you have gotten another property with, I don't know, like $1 million, because you want to protect the amount of money that you're losing, right? That's why they ask you to put money down when you're buying a personal residence. That's why we some lending products, especially the OSBA, they're like, okay, great. The project is $1 million. We're going to service $800,000 of it, right? Number 4, collateral. Look at what can the bank recoup to make sure that they're able to be made whole. And number 5, what is the condition of the industry that they're in? Condition, okay, so let's say you go to the bank with a business plan like, hey, I want to open the next Blockbuster for VHS and DVDs. They're going to start laughing at you because they don't know what uses that anymore, right? So what is the condition of the industry? Where's the industry heading in the future? Do we like it? Do we hate it? And then you can find that out from the bank just by asking, hey, what businesses do you have in the high risk list, right? And then a good contact at the bank should be able to tell you that. So those are the 5 things of credit. These are the 5 things that you identify to see what's possible within the bank or not, right? And every single underwriting process, this internal information, again, right here, but in the internal lending guidelines, this is what they're looking for right here, right? So for every single product, that's what they're trying to identify. So now you're thinking like an underwriter, right? Like this is literally how it works. Okay, so what is a credit rating profile for most of the products that we're going to be talking about tomorrow? Minimum, you want your client to have a 680 credit score. FICO 8 is the scoring model that we're going to utilize, but we're going to break that down tomorrow. You want them to have at least $5,000 in total available personal limits, at least one credit card with a $5,000 limit, at least one established account for 2 years on the personal side, right? This is then reviewing the character. Less than 6 increase in the last 12 months, the less increase, the better. And less than 20% utilization per credit product, not aggregate amount. So that means you have 5 cards, and then 4 of them have 0% utilization, but you have one maxed out, but somehow your utilization is under 20%. It's you still get the client because you have one card maxed out. But we're really going to do a deep dive on this stuff tomorrow, so you guys really learn it. And then next, right after understanding that you're able to analyze a credit profile the right way, then you need to identify what is a relationship manager, right? Start building those relationships just by calling your local bank. Hey, I need to talk to the business bank relationship manager. Why? Because I'm a business funding consultant, or I'm a business consultant that has a lot of clients that are looking to get funded. And because and I need to be able to send them to a bank that cares about the community. And we have a conversation to see how it can work. Right? Start building those relationships. And you guys are surprised how many people are willing to talk to you from, at this capacity. Again, what is a relationship manager? That's what I used to do. And I used to manage them too at one point. Right? So if I will get a business loan broker calling me, and if they were good at it, I will take that call every single day because you're bringing me clients, you're making my job easier. So, okay. Now, tomorrow we're gonna be learning about some products. This is what we're gonna be learning tomorrow. We're gonna do a deep dive into the whole 0% business credit APR funding. We're gonna break down a startup business line of credit funding sequence. We're gonna be going over backyard banking. These are all the things that are working right now. I'm literally showing you exactly how we make money. All right, so you guys can do this when you want. We're gonna be going over merchant cash advances, how you can charge for setting up business credit, $1,000 to $3,000. How to do a business credit consultation by leveraging Lombard. Literally, Lombard will help you do a credit consultation and then provide a credit action plan. You can charge at least $500 for. How to do a funding plan for people, all powered by Lombard. That it will do it for you in minutes, just from a credit report. I'm going to show you guys how to do that so you can monetize every single conversation. How to stack business lines of credit. And again, the other products, we're not really going to dive deep into it because we're going to spend a lot of time into the credit stacking part. And yes, everything's recorded. It will be posted under the school group, and it will be also, it's going to be emailed to you as well. Now, we have the homework. What is the homework? I need you guys to complete the business funding starter kit. Right? So start building your business. So I'm going to drop the link for this, right? It's also going to be in the community. This tells you step by step so you can start taking steps towards having your business loan brokerage set up. So I just posted it. Make sure you download it. It tells you exactly what to do and how to do it. And this is going to be uploaded on the school community as well, on their classroom, on their BLB challenge, on their resources going to be here. And if you don't have access to the community, just fill out a ticket or provide your email to right now. And then Jack will give you access to or Damien. So again, make sure you do the homework, complete the business funding starter kit, drop on the school group. What is your bottleneck? Who do you help? And what are your current limiting beliefs? And then that concludes day one. So tomorrow we're going to be breaking down money arbitrage secrets.